In the night between March 24th and 25th, 1944, a momentous event unfolded in the small German town of Sagan, situated in the eastern part of Germany. This occurrence etched itself permanently into the annals of World War II. From the most heavily guarded prisoner of war camp for aviators, which the Germans deemed utterly impenetrable, 76 captured Allied airmen escaped in a single night. They gained their freedom through an underground tunnel, approximately 100 meters in length, meticulously excavated at a depth of 9 meters beneath the camp. This audacious escape had been in preparation for an entire year, involving over 600 prisoners of war. All of this transpired directly under the noses of hundreds of German guards, specially trained to thwart precisely such endeavors. The escape became so legendary that it was subsequently dubbed the Great Escape. The 1963 Hollywood film of the same title recounts this very saga, albeit with numerous cinematic liberties. The actual events of that March in 1944 were considerably more dramatic and tragic than depicted on screen, and the price paid by the captured officers for their freedom was exceedingly high. Today, we will delve into the most renowned and astonishing escape of World War II. We will reveal how one individual, afflicted with claustrophobia, orchestrated the digging of 3 vast subterranean passages. Furthermore, we will uncover the ultimate secret behind why this desperate attempt by captive soldiers to regain their liberty culminated in one of Nazi Germany's most horrific war crimes. To grasp the nature of Stalag Luft III, one must first understand the German disposition towards captured Allied aviators during World War II. The German Air Force, known as the Luftwaffe, considered itself a distinct elite within the entire German military. They held a measure of respect for fellow aviators, even those serving in enemy forces. Consequently, captured British, American, and other Allied pilots were typically interned in specialized camps directly under Luftwaffe command. These facilities were designated as Stalag Luft, which translates to Air Camp. Stalag Luft III was constructed in 1942, nestled within a dense pine forest near the small town of Sagan in eastern Germany. Today, this town resides within Poland and is known as Zagan. The camp occupied a sprawling expanse of approximately 60 hectares, equivalent to roughly 100 football fields. It was segregated into several distinct sectors, the most critical being the so-called North Compound, which housed the most distinguished captured Allied airmen and from which the famed escape originated. Stalag Luft III was intentionally designed by the Germans as an unbreachable fortress. They had meticulously studied the lessons learned from all previous escapes from other camps, striving to eliminate any possibility of repeating past mistakes. Primarily, the camp was encircled by 2 layers of barbed wire. Between these barriers lay a sterile zone, patrolled around the clock by guards accompanied by dogs. Any prisoner who crossed the inner perimeter line faced immediate, lethal gunfire without warning. Along the entire perimeter, tall watchtowers equipped with searchlights and machine guns stood sentinel. These searchlights relentlessly illuminated the grounds throughout the night, instantly exposing any movement within the camp. However, the most crucial defense was against subterranean escapes. The Germans were acutely aware that digging tunnels was the most favored method of breaking free from captivity. Therefore, they devised several ingenious systems to detect such activities. Firstly, all barracks were elevated, not built directly on the ground, but supported by special wooden or concrete stilts. This created an open space of approximately half a meter beneath each barrack, allowing guards to periodically inspect for any clandestine digging operations beneath the floorboards. Secondly, seismic microphones were strategically installed along the camp's entire perimeter. These microphones were sensitive enough to detect any underground vibrations, potentially identifying tunnel construction at an early stage. Thirdly, the very soil surrounding the camp worked against the prisoners. The earth in this region comprised 2 distinct strata, an upper layer of ordinary dark soil, about half a meter thick, and beneath it, a substantial layer of bright yellow sand. This presented an ideal deterrent for the Germans. If prisoners began excavating a tunnel and brought yellow sand to the surface, the guards would immediately notice its conspicuous presence against the dark terrain of the camp. No matter how ingeniously the prisoners attempted to conceal this sand, its vibrant hue would invariably betray their efforts. Due to this peculiar soil composition, the Germans were absolutely convinced that tunnel construction was an impossibility. Yet they underestimated the prisoners' determination and ingenuity. By the beginning of 1943, Stalag Luft III held over 1,500 captured aviators. These were the most seasoned and resolute officers of the Allied air forces. Many had already attempted escapes from other camps and were deliberately transferred to Stalag Luft III due to their perceived threat. Among these captives was an individual who would become the most extraordinary figure in this entire narrative: Roger Bushell. A South African by birth, he was born in 1910 in a small mining town in South Africa. From the age of 13, he was educated in England at prestigious institutions. Bushell pursued a law degree at Cambridge, and at the outset of the war, joined the Royal Air Force as a pilot. He commanded a squadron of renowned Spitfires, downing numerous German aircraft. In 1940, his own aircraft was shot down over France during the evacuation of Allied forces from Dunkirk, after which he was taken prisoner by the Germans. Bushell was a remarkably charismatic and energetic individual, fluent in several languages, including German, French, and Spanish, which provided him with a significant advantage in escape attempts. By the time of his transfer to Stalag Luft III, he had already orchestrated 2 escape attempts from other camps, both of which ended in failure, resulting in harsh punishment and relocation each time. The most astonishing aspect of Bushell was his profound claustrophobia. He suffered from an intense fear of confined, dark spaces. This seemed an utterly contradictory affliction for someone poised to become the chief architect of digging extensive subterranean tunnels. He confessed to his comrades that the mere thought of a tight, dark space could sometimes make him feel unwell. However, Bushell managed to conquer his phobia. He understood that escape was the sole means to continue the fight against Nazi Germany, and was prepared to make any sacrifice, including overcoming his own deep-seated psychological challenges. As news of an impending mass escape from Stalag Luft III began to circulate among the prisoners, various rumors and speculations arose both within the camp and among the German guards. Some guards jested that these captured pilots were attempting to tunnel their way to England. Others believed the prisoners possessed a secret plan to hijack one of the camp's transport trucks. Theories emerged about an English-led air operation to liberate the prisoners via paratrooper drop. Some suspected the prisoners had a clandestine radio transmitter, coordinating a complex international plot. The most far-fetched rumors spoke of prisoners utilizing ancient subterranean shafts beneath the camp, unknown even to the German architects. The reality, however, was far simpler and significantly more impressive. The prisoners had no secret maps, no ancient infrastructure, and no external assistance. They possessed only their own inventiveness, persistence, and an unparalleled level of organization. In the spring of 1943, Bushell convened a secret meeting of the most determined prisoners in one of the camp barracks. Here, he unveiled his ambitious plan. No more small, individual escapes. All prisoner efforts would be concentrated on one colossal operation. They would excavate 3 large tunnels simultaneously. According to Bushell's design, these were not mere tunnels, but engineering marvels crafted by true professionals. Each tunnel was to be approximately 100 meters long and situated at a depth of 9 meters, below the sensitivity threshold of the German seismic microphones. The simultaneous construction of 3 tunnels served as a contingency. Bushell theorized that if the Germans discovered 1 or even 2 tunnels, they might not suspect a third, believing they had uncovered the entirety of the operation and would thus relax their vigilance. This would allow the final remaining tunnel to ensure the operation's successful conclusion. The tunnels were given simple masculine code names: Tom, Dick, and Harry. These names were employed for secrecy. If guards overheard conversations like, "How is Tom today?" they would assume it pertained to a fellow prisoner. The process of tunnel excavation itself presented an incredibly complex engineering challenge. First and foremost was the issue of tunnel entrances. All three were concealed with remarkable ingenuity. The entrance to Tunnel Harry was located in barrack number 104, beneath a stove that was kept perpetually lit to deter guards from investigating. Beneath the stove, the prisoners had fashioned a special trap door from a concrete tile, operable only by those in the know. The entrance to Tunnel Tom was situated in a corner of a barrack within a very narrow space that appeared to be an ordinary room corner. Tunnel Dick's entrance was concealed in the floor of a shower room beneath one of the drains. Tunnel Dick boasted the most brilliant camouflage, as its origin in the shower room allowed any digging sounds or movements within to be attributed to the normal operation of the plumbing. Once the entrances were established, the actual excavation commenced. Each tunnel comprised 3 distinct sections: a head at the very beginning, where the digging was actively performed, a central intermediate storage area for tools and a resting place for diggers, and a working section at the far end where the primary excavation took place. Digging these tunnels was incredibly arduous and perilous. At a depth of 9 meters, the air was scarce. The prisoners had to devise a sophisticated ventilation system using makeshift bellows and pipes fashioned from tin cans. The darkness at this depth was also profound. Prisoners utilized fat lamps constructed from any available materials. When they managed to pilfer electrical wiring from the Germans, they connected their lamps directly to the camp's electrical grid. A particularly pressing problem was reinforcing the tunnel walls. The local sand was prone to constant collapse, and any careless movement could trigger a catastrophic cave-in of the entire passage. The prisoners utilized wooden planks salvaged from their own bunks to shore up the walls, gradually collecting material for hundreds of meters of tunnel by disassembling 1 or 2 planks from each bed. When the Germans observed a recurring breakage of bunks in a particular barrack, the prisoners attributed it to substandard wood quality. The most significant challenge was disposing of the yellow sand. Several hundred kilograms of this sand were extracted from the tunnels daily. Where could it be hidden? The prisoners devised a brilliant solution. They sewed specialized canvas bags, which they wore concealed within the lower sections of their trousers. These bags had cords that allowed a prisoner to discreetly open a lower valve. As prisoners walked around the campgrounds, they would gradually release the yellow sand from these bags directly onto the earth. Immediately afterward, they would meticulously tread down the sand, blending it with the surrounding dark soil. In this manner, dozens of prisoners could disperse many kilograms of sand across the camp's territory each day. This system was so effective that the guards remained oblivious for an extended period. Additionally, prisoners utilized hidden caches beneath barrack floors, within small flower beds, under the camp's makeshift theater stage, and in dozens of other locations. Every cubic meter of earth excavated from the tunnels had to be accounted for, and over time, the prisoners dispersed several thousand cubic meters of yellow sand throughout the camp. It is imperative to highlight some of the key individuals instrumental in this incredible operation. The chief engineer responsible for the design and excavation of the tunnels was a Canadian pilot named Wally Floody. Prior to the war, he had worked as an engineer for a mining company in Canada, thus possessing extensive knowledge of underground operations, tunnel reinforcement, and ventilation systems. Without his professional expertise, excavating a tunnel of such length and depth would have been virtually impossible. Floody personally spent hundreds of hours underground, directing the efforts of other prisoners. He meticulously oversaw the quality of wall reinforcements, the functionality of ventilation systems, and the precise trajectory of every new meter of tunnel. The principal forger was a British pilot named Tim Wallace. He possessed an uncanny ability to counterfeit German documents with such precision that even experienced border officials could not distinguish them from genuine articles. Wallace personally created forged identification papers, work permits, and travel documents for all 200 prisoners slated for escape. Each document demanded several hours of meticulous labor. Reproducing the distinctive seals and stamps of German government agencies proved particularly challenging. Wallace fashioned these seals from soap, cardboard, and metal components, imprinting them with raised lettering and emblems. His forgeries were so exceptional that many are now displayed in museums as examples of authentic art of deception. It is also impossible to overlook the special team dedicated to creating civilian attire. These prisoners operated within a workshop disguised as a routine clothing repair facility. They transformed ordinary military greatcoats and uniform jackets into civilian suits and overcoats, systematically removing all military insignia, attaching new buttons, and altering the cut and color of the fabric. By the operation's conclusion, this workshop had produced over 200 complete sets of civilian clothing, indistinguishable from contemporary German attire. Some of these suits even incorporated hidden compartments within the lining for maps, documents, and currency. Had the German guards ever discovered this workshop, the entire operation would have been immediately compromised, necessitating extraordinary measures to safeguard it. They had their own surveillance system for German guards. If a guard approached, a designated signaler would emit a subtle auditory cue, instantly transforming the workshop into an innocuous storage room. Concurrent with the tunnel excavation, a massive undertaking was underway to prepare all necessary provisions for the escape itself. The prisoners required civilian identification, clothing, sustenance for their journey, maps, compasses, and numerous other items. For each of these requisites, Bushel selected specialists from among the camp's most talented individuals. One was a professional artist in civilian life who forged German documents of such high caliber that distinguishing them from originals was virtually impossible. Other prisoners fashioned passable civilian suits from their blankets and other fabrics. Yet others, from memory, drew maps of the area surrounding the camp and far beyond. Some constructed rudimentary compasses from magnetized razor blades. A critical role was played by the so-called German hunters. These were prisoners who ingratiated themselves with individual guards, bribing them with cigarettes, chocolate, or other scarce commodities. From these guards, the prisoners obtained small but vital items, buttons for civilian clothing, ink for document forgery, and samples of authentic German documents for replication. Had the Germans discovered any of their guards aiding the prisoners, those individuals would have faced immediate execution. In September of 1943, a significant setback occurred. German authorities inadvertently discovered Tunnel Tom just as it was nearing its intended exit point in the woods beyond the camp. This represented a substantial loss for the entire operation, rendering months of arduous labor futile. Following this discovery, the Germans significantly intensified security and conducted numerous additional searches of all barracks. The prisoners were compelled to suspend work on the remaining 2 tunnels to allow the guards to calm down and to avoid arousing suspicion about the existence of other passages. Several months later, Bushel made the decision to abandon Tunnel Dick entirely, concentrating all remaining resources on Tunnel Harry. Dick was repurposed as a storage facility for sand and equipment from Harry. By early March of 1944, Tunnel Harry was finally completed. It measured approximately 102 meters in length and was approximately 9 meters deep. Internally, it was equipped with its own lighting system, ventilation, and even a simple wooden cart on rails for transporting personnel and cargo along its length. The escape date was set for March 24, 1944. Bushel specifically chose this date for several reasons. Foremost, it was a moonless night, significantly reducing visibility for the German guards. Secondly, by this time, the tunnel was fully prepared. Thirdly, the weather was predicted to be cold, but without heavy snowfall. The plan was for 200 of the most carefully selected prisoners to traverse the tunnel. They were divided into several groups. The first 30 individuals were designated serenaders, possessing the highest probability of a successful escape. They were fluent in multiple foreign languages, possessed the best forged documents, and were intended to immediately board passenger trains and travel as far from the camp as possible. The remaining 170 individuals were organized into groups tasked with exiting the tunnel as opportunities arose, with less complex objectives. Their mission was simply to make their way on foot across German territory towards neutral countries or the front lines. And so, that historic night arrived. At 22:30 hours, the first prisoner, named Johnny Bull, began crawling through the narrow Tunnel Harry. He was designated to emerge first and signal the others. After several minutes, he reached the end of the tunnel, where he encountered a dire predicament. The tunnel's length calculation had proven inaccurate. Instead of emerging within the woods as planned, the tunnel ended in an open field, mere meters from the tree line. This meant that guards from a nearby watchtower could potentially spot prisoners emerging. Bushell and his team were forced to alter the plan at the 11th hour. Now, prisoners could only exit the tunnel during moments when the watchtower's searchlight was directed elsewhere. This significantly slowed the entire escape. Instead of the anticipated 200 individuals, only 76 prisoners managed to escape throughout the night. At 5 o'clock in the morning,